What's up guys, and welcome back to another daily outlook. So once again we're here with the daily outlook where I go over my main pairs and analyze the chart with you guys. So let's begin with the DXY and let's see what is happening. So what we could have seen is that we are kind of consolidating, but now we are breaking the daily fractal high, so we are breaking to the upside. And now we have created this demand zone, which could push price up higher again. So I'm definitely looking at higher prices now that we broke the fractal high. But what you can see, we are still kind of in this range. So I would like to see maybe like a bigger breakout, maybe take some liquidity over here and then that pullback and then go long. So for now, we're still in the range. So I would like to see a bigger breakout, then a pushback, and then we can trade up higher. So that's also what I'm waiting for. What we can see is that we also have a triple for our fractal break now. So now this is our demand over here, which is in control, but keep in mind that I am looking at this demand zone. Reason being, multiple fractal breaks, right? So let's just say institutions are buying over here, right? Well, they want to trade all the way up here, let's say. Where are they going to scale their position? Well, it's a big position, so they need to take stop losses so they can enter the market. Where are stop losses located? Well, at this low over here. So I would like to see some stop losses getting taken out, then a tap in towards this open demand. Boom, 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 because this is a place where they will scale in their positions. They have such a high lots that they cannot just shoot it at a random point, but they gotta shoot it when they take out stop losses, because otherwise the market moves too much. So that's the reason why I'm waiting for liquidity to get taken out, for a tap in towards this open demand, and then we can trade up higher in towards the highs. So that's basically my analysis on DXY. But for now, yeah, I would like to see my alert go off, which is under this low. And I'm also going to place this little liquidity line so I know when I get the alert that the liquidity has been taken and that I now should look for possible long setups. Okay, going over to Euro USD, what can we see? So this is my swing trade, which I'm not taking yet. I'm waiting for this swing break over here, this is with the candle close. If you do not understand why with the candle close, make sure to watch the market structure after this video. So basically we are for our bullish, and now I would want to turn for our bearish, and then I will take a short setup, swing short setup with my high above the daily fractal and my entry on top of this open supply with some liquidity underneath, right? So this is the setup that I'm looking for after we get a break of structure here on the 4 hour. Okay, reason being, look at the daily, we have taken liquidity above this high, right? And we got early sellers, which we now swiped, and now the real sellers are stepping into the market, and we could get the real move in towards the downside. Looking at the 4 hour then, we can also see some trendline liquidity, which we now broke. So once you get the break of structure, looking for a retest, and then we can go short. So that's my game plan on Euro USD. Of course, if you do not like this big swing trade, then you could wait for that break of structure, then a pullback, take liquidity, tap into our supply, and then you could wait for either a 4 hour fractal break once again to short, or you could go over to the 1 hour and look for good confirmation in order to go short as well. So it's up to you what you like to see. Me personally, I'm just going to chill because I got exams next week, and I'm just going to put a swing position and don't look at the chart too much. Okay, then we have GBP USD. Once again, looking at the daily first, we still have daily bullish order flow over here because we had the demand which got respected. Then we create another demand which is now still in control. Only if we break this low, then the order flow switches, and then I'm going to look for shorts from, let's just say, this supply zone. Okay, so I'm still waiting for that to happen. Looking at 4 hour, I would also like to see a swing break, so with a candle close, and then we have this supply over here which got tapped with this supply over here. So let's just say we break the low, then I know there's enough confirmation to trade down lower. So what I then do, this is our supply zone, but there's also some liquidity above the supply. So what I'm waiting for then, waiting for a tap back into a supply, then want to see confirmation, then I want to go short. If I don't see confirmation, then we will just trade up higher, take liquidity above these highs, and then if I then see confirmation, then I will go short. Okay, so that's what I'm waiting for on GU. For now, I'm not looking at any long setups to trade up higher, but I'm just waiting for more development for this break of structure and then confirmation to go short. AUD USD. So what can we see? Well, on the daily, we can see that we are now inside daily demand, which is this demand zone over here. And we can see that we kind of had bullish order flows. So we had this demand zone over here. Then we had these two small wicks, which was also boom, boom, boom. So this was a sell before the buy, which is a demand zone. Then we also had these wicks, right, which is also a demand zone. And then we created this demand zone now, which could push price back up higher. Now, this is a daily fractal low, and this is a daily fractal high, and we are fractal daily bullish, right? So this is our fractal high, which we broke, and that made this the fractal low and this the fractal high. So what we could expect from the fractals is that we do not trade under this daily fractal and that we respect it and trade up higher. So going over to the 4 hour, that could be true because what can we see? Let's say institutional buyers stepping over here because we take some liquidity. Then they do another portion of their trades. They step in over here where they take liquidity. And where do they also step into the trade? Well, of course, underneath this liquidity to trade up higher again, right? Keep in mind though, there are 3 lows over here, so we could see a swipe of the lows, then confirmation, and then trade up higher from this refined demand zone. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's something you could wait for. But then again, I think price could already trade up higher. So what I am waiting for is some more confirmation, because what did we have now? Well, of course, very clear bullish order flow. We have all those demand zones chaining up together. And now we're inside this demand and we created a new demand which could push price up higher. Well, what did we see? We saw one fractal break, another fractal break, and now we got internal liquidity. Okay, so now that we have internal liquidity, what happened? We had a fractal break to the downside, and now we have this as our fractal high. So let's say that we break the fractal high. You could look at possible long setups to trade up higher again in towards, let's say, this weekly open over here. So I might look for this position to trade in towards this supply. Possibly from here we could either trade down lower in towards that liquidity and then trade up higher, or we could just trade up higher. So looking at this might be a nice position that I'm going to take. So yeah, waiting for that fractal break to occur, going to place my alert, and then I might take a long setup. So let's go over the confluences of this trade, right? On our fractal break. So let's see. Going over to the daily first. Well, let's see. Okay, we are daily fractal bullish, so that's okay. And we also have some kind of bullish order flow. And we are inside demand, so we should respect that and trade up higher. So on a daily, it looks nice. On the 4 hour, well, what can we see? We are 4 hour bullish. We took some liquidity over here, so we could begin to move in towards that swing high. And we also took liquidity over here, so we could be ready to begin the move. Now what can we see? We also had demand over here, and now we have also some bullish order flow. So from this demand, we could trade up higher with that order flow in towards that swing high. Okay, now looking at the 1 hour, what can we see? Well, okay, we are 1 hour bearish, but if the 4 hour and daily say we could trade up higher, that's more important. So then we grab some liquidity under the lows. So check, we got double fractal break, internal liquidity, and now if we turn fractal bullish again, then we have enough confirmation that we could trade up higher in towards minimum this supply. So I think this is a nice setup. The only thing not nice about this setup is this refined demand and liquidity which is laying under the lows. Okay, so this is the only thing that's not nice, but I think with that bullish order flow we could already see some bullish momentum. So if we, let's just say, wait for that fractal break, you could wait for a second one in order to be sure that you're not going to trade to that liquidity in order to then go long. But I think that this still looks very clean to trade up higher, right? So going over to NZD USD now, what can we see? Well, of course, sorry guys. So what can we see? For our bullish, for our in demand, we took some liquidity under these wicks over here, right? So it's not a lot of liquidity, but it's some liquidity, because on the lower time frame we kind of had this, so it's some liquidity, right? Well, what can we see? We are inside this refined demand, so there's not that much liquidity, but I think with this demand here we could still push up higher, right? Especially maybe in towards this supply, and from here we could either trade up higher or trade down lower and then up higher. Now looking at the discount prices, we still need to tap the discount prices and then trade in towards the new swing high. So that's also something you need to keep in mind on NZD USD. For now, I don't think that there's any possible setup. I would just wait for the discount prices to get hit, then confirmation, and then we can take a swing long setup, or wait for a tap into a supply. You could look for possible shorts into a discount, but I don't think that is a plus. Reason being, look at the daily. Now in daily demand, so this could push price way up higher in towards those highs, right? So keep that in mind when taking a short setup. For now, I think I'm only just waiting for taking a long setup, and for that we obviously need to see the discount prices get hit or one more swipe, and then we can trade up higher. So that's what I'm waiting for on NZD USD, just some more development. Once again, gold, I don't like to trade it as of now because we're at all-time high, but we see we grab liquidity at the lows. So if we break the fractal high, for example, we could see further upside. But then again, look at where we are, all the way at the high of this big move. So there should be a pullback coming up next, and yeah, I don't want to go long over here because there could be some pullback, but I also don't want to go short because it's gold and it could just rally up higher. So in my opinion, gold is not the best thing to trade at the moment, and I will just look at the other pairs to see what price is doing and just wait for some more development on gold. Looking at the yen basket, we are predicting this to perfection, right? Over here, what did we say? After breaking the lows, no, we are going to break the highs once again, and then we can trade down lower. What happens? We trade down lower. Then we're inside this demand, and what do we expect? To trade up higher in towards this liquidity, and from there a pullback in towards this amount, and from this amount we're going to trade up higher. So let's see if we're also going to predict this higher move, which I'm also looking for because we already took some liquidity on the 1 hour. So I'm definitely looking at upside on the yen for now, right? Well, keep in mind that the 1 hour is bearish and we tapped the premium prices. We also took some liquidity. So it could also be that we trade down lower, but I think with the fundamentals, we should start looking for more upside. So looking at the euro yen, well, what can we see? Well, of course, that there's still some liquidity under these lows. So once we hit this supply zone, I'm going to look at possible short setups to trade down lower in towards those lows, right? Yeah, that's basically what I'm waiting for. Reason being, we took liquidity and we are 4 hour bullish. So well, we also broke the 4 hour over here. And then what can we see? Well, of course, we take liquidity, right? And from here, we tapped in towards this 4 hour demand. So maybe you had a like long setup yesterday, which you actually had. So we came back in towards this demand, and then we took liquidity, of course, under these lows. And then what did we have? Fractal break to the downside, basically a swipe of the early buyers. And then what do we see? A fractal break to the upside over here. And that was a point where you should go long like this, stop loss underneath the low, and then just take a 1 to 3. So this was a nice long setup in my opinion, and it is perfectly in towards the yearly level. So in line with the trend, in line with liquidity, in line with demand, and then also with order flow. So yeah, this looks like a nice setup as well. But for now, what did I say? I'm going to look for longs on the yen, so shorts on the euro yen or XXX yen. So I'm now waiting for this liquidity to get grabbed, of course, tap in towards this overall supply, and then confirmation in order to take those short setups in towards those liquidity lows, which I showed you on the 4 hour. For now, euro yen needs more development to take short setups. Well, if you would like to take long setups because you for some reason would see the yen trade down lower, well, then what do I see? I can see that we have some liquidity under these lows. So I personally would wait for this demand to get hit, as well as this liquidity to get taken out, pullback, and then fractal break in order to go long in towards that liquidity. So you could trade this. In my opinion, it's just not the best because I think that with the fundamentals, the yen should possibly trade up higher, right? Going over to GJ now. Well, what can we see? That we are inside this demand with this beautiful bullish order flow. So what do we see? All of those demand zones get respected, right? Demand, demand, demand. Very easy, right? Demand, demand, and now we had demand, and this is now our last demand, which could push price back up higher again. Okay, am I going to take a long setup? No, because I think the yen basket could trade up higher. So look at this supply. Well, this looks nice for me to take a possible short setup, but is this trade A plus? In my opinion, it's not, because we have bullish order flow. Well, my checklist order flow needs to be in a line with the trade, and now if I take a short setup, the order flow is bullish, so it's not in line with the trade. So what I will do, just wait this one out, because patience is key and not trading is also trading. So I think in this case, taking a long setup is more valid, but yeah, I'm just waiting this one out and wait for an order flow switch. Let's just say break under this demand or this demand, and then we can trade down lower. But for now, I'm definitely waiting for more development, maybe see a swipe of the high, then confirmation to trade down lower, right? So what can we see now on the USD Yen? So this looks promising. So basically, if you look at the daily, we are inside this supply, and we could trade down lower in towards that weekly demand, right? Now, if you look at the 4-hour, well, then what do we see? We are 4-hour bearish, and this is our 4-hour swing high and also our daily fractal high, so we should respect it. As you can see over here, we are respecting that high. What do we then see? That this is our supply zone right now, where price tapped in towards. If we see some lower time frame confirmation, then we could take a short setup to trade down lower. Well, the only thing is that there's no liquidity in this move down, and what you often see is that we take out the move and then trade down lower. But then again, keep in mind, this is a yen pair, and yen pairs, they have really strong order flow, so we could already trade down lower from this supply. Well, if I look at the 1-hour, then what do I see? Of course, this is our 1-hour supply, right? And then now I would like to see a fractal break in order to take a short setup to trade down in towards the lows, right? So I'm now just waiting for this fractal high to go, and I'm also going to put my alert on top of this fractal high. Okay, 1-hour fractal break, and then early sellers swipes. So I would also advise to name your alerts, so when you look at your phone, you got the alert, you also know what the alert is. So now we got sellers, right, from this supply zone. Sellers, we would wait for them to get swiped, and then the real move in towards the downside is going to happen. Going over to AUD Yen now, I placed this limit yesterday, but I did not get entered, so this is a front run for me. Front run meaning that it trades up higher without me in the trade. So that's unfortunate, but that happens. So now I'm going to look for shorts once we hit the supply again, and then trade down lower. So look at the 4-hour. Of course, we are 4-hour bullish though, so then it might not be the best to trade down lower, but we have some bearish order flow, right? And it's in line with the yen basket, which could also trade up higher, so then AHA could trade down lower. But what I now see is that we also have bullish order flow, and that it might not be A plus to take a short setup, but that I need to wait for good confirmation or enough confirmation to take a small short setup. So keep in mind that we have bullish and bearish order flow. So then what do? Wait for a breakout on one of the sides, and if it's in line with all the other confluences, you can take a setup. Going over to NZD Yen, well, this might look better. So what can we see? We still have some liquidity under the lows, so that's something we could trade into us from this supply. Boom, boom. And we're also like bearish, but you could also say, okay, this is also swing structure, and then we break the swing high, and then we break the swing high over here. So this could also be your swing. So from here, well, of course, boom, 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 and you trade up higher. So well, this is hard because we also have some liquidity above the highs. So what I'm going to do, again, wait for more development. I took my trades last week, got some nice profits on GBP Yen, NZD Yen, and Swiss Yen, and also yesterday on AUD Yen. So I'm just going to be patient and wait for A+ setups to occur, because now price could either move up higher or could move down lower. So I'm just waiting this one out. Going over to my last pair, Swiss Yen. Well, what do we see? That we miss connection with this daily supply. Yes. And that we also have daily bullish order flow. So we are bullish. Then we had demand. We swiped early buyers. Boom, buyers swiped them. And now the real movement towards upside can happen. We are now inside demand. And what is demand going to be possibly doing? Pushing price up higher in towards this supply. So going up over to the 4 hour then, what can we see? Of course, that's same demand zone, but I think that we took some liquidity at this low. Let me check. Yeah, we took the liquidity at that low. So for now, we could see higher prices trading up higher. Once again, am I going to take a long setup here? Well, I think the yen basket could trade up higher. If I see confirmation on the yen basket that we could trade down lower, then I'm definitely going to look at a long setup on Swiss yen. If not, I'm just going to wait this one out patiently and wait for this supply to get tapped, and from there I will look at a nice A+ short setup. Okay, patience is key, guys. So that was it for today, and yeah, I hope you liked it, and see you in the next one. Ciao.